Bible claimed that someday the Son of God would come. How can we know that Jesus is the Son of God? Can Christians verify that claim? Statistical probability and Jesus. A popular website dubbed the secular web provides a home on the internet for those who are atheists, skeptics, or outright hostile to the Christian faith. They call themselves the Internet Infidels. And as I read one of their articles, I came across an interesting quote. If numerous specific and detailed prophecies in the Old Testament were found to match the life of an historical Jesus, this would provide considerable evidence in support of the Christian faith. Even they must admit that if there are a good number of prophecies about Jesus Christ that came true, those in the Christian faith would have an excellent reason to believe that their statements are true. Indeed, a near undeniable reason. The Old Testament contains hundreds of prophecies about who the Messiah would be, and how people could recognize him. Unlike prophecies from Miss Cleo, who couldn't foresee her own legal problems, the prophecies in the Bible are detailed and told far into the future. For instance, the book of Isaiah was written, if you use the most critical standards, at least 300 or 400 years before Jesus came. Yet it correctly predicted many specifics. A few examples of predictions are that the Messiah would have a messenger come before him and prepare people. He would be rejected and killed when he came. He would pray for those who killed him, and that he would be buried in a rich man's tomb. All of these, just like every prophecy, was fulfilled in Jesus. But just how likely is it that someone could accidentally fulfill these prophecies? How do we know that it is actually from God and not just a big coincidence? For this, we look at statistics. The odds that you could have twins are 1 in 50. The chances that you could win the California lottery are 1 in 41,416,353. Now, some of you watching this video may have twins, but I doubt that any of you have won the California lottery. I'm also pretty sure none of you watching were killed on a bus ride, 1 in 500 million, or on an airplane flight, which is 1 in 4,600,000. Wow, I'm taking the bus. And just for good measure, let's look at the odds of winning 2 lotteries on one day. 1 in 24 billion. So how does this compare to the odds that someone could fulfill the prophecies Jesus did? Well, Jesus fulfilled hundreds of prophecies, but not all of these are measurable. For example, being born of a virgin is fairly hard to measure. So, out of the hundreds of prophecies, mathematicians have calculated the probability that anyone could fill just 48 of those prophecies. The odds are 1 in 10 to the 157th power. What does that mean? Well, let's add up all the other statistics and throw in a few more for the heck of it. The odds that you would win a state lottery, go home to find out you just had twins, then die on a bus ride to another state where you win that state lottery also. And when you phone home, you realize that your wife just had quadruplets. And when you go outside, you rejoice. You see that the world was just hit by a seriously damaging meteor from outer space all in the same day. The odds of that happening? 1 in 8,758 to the 28th power. Compare that to the odds that Jesus could fulfill all the prophecies he did, 1 in 10 to the 157th power. The chances that you could do all of those things is much greater than the chance you could fulfill even some of the prophecies that Jesus did. The difference between $1 and $1 million is 6 zeros. The difference here is 126 zeros. So what does that mean? Only God could have made this circumstance come together in the person known as Jesus Christ. Jesus must be the God Messiah that the Bible predicted.